Next on Startup, we head to St. Louis, Missouri to talk to Cory and Jason, two serial entrepreneurs who created Strange Donuts, a unique donut shop that's encouraging St. Louis residents to stay strange. Then we swing by Asheville, North Carolina to talk to Evan, a Chinese medical practitioner who started Silverleaf, an herbal pharmacy and acupuncture studio that encourages people to achieve a more natural, holistic lifestyle. All of this and more is next on Startup.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support Startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet, find new roads.
American Express is proud to support Startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
My name is Gary Brado, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup. I'm on Chestnut and Liberty in Asheville, North Carolina. We're going to go talk to Evan, who created Silverleaf Herbal Pharmacy and Acupuncture. When Evan was younger, he suffered from a chronic illness that couldn't be treated by Western medicine alone. So he dove right into Chinese herbal medicine and acupuncture, and his life has not been the same ever since. Let's go hear his story. Traditional Chinese medicine has been practiced in the U.S. for more than 150 years. And about 46% of doctors use it alone or with Western medicine as a complementary health approach to more modern techniques. Evan had always been interested in Eastern medicine, but after attending some of the most highly respected training programs in the country, he was able to bring his vast knowledge back to the people of Asheville. Let's start by learning about you as a person. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Thanks. My name is Evan Basanich. I'm an acupuncturist. My family always used natural medicine growing up. My mother was really sick when I was growing up. She had chronic fatigue syndrome for a number of years. My interest in natural medicine really grew out of that in a lot of ways because Western medicine had no answer for her.
So what did you start diving into to help that?
I read books, I got acupuncture a couple of times, and I especially saw the potential for a real mind-body medicine. Because acupuncture, it doesn't just affect the body in terms of pain of muscles and joints, but it really affects the totality of the nervous system. When I finished high school, I actually moved to Australia to study acupuncture because there weren't any places in the States that would take me.
So you got through that and then went into a new program just outside of Boone. Were you certified after the program in North Carolina?
I was actually forced to withdraw because I got so sick.
Okay.
I became really deathly ill to the point where I was in a hospital for a month, and the only thing keeping me alive was blood transfusions. But during that time, I figured out how to treat the disease successfully using a combination of Chinese medicine and Western medicine, and 6 months later, I was well.
When you got better,
yeah.
What was the next phase in your life?
Going back to school and finishing up. Moving back home to Asheville, where most of my friends and family lived. Mm-hmm. And although there are a lot of acupuncturists here, I had a high degree of confidence in my clinical abilities. Mm-hmm. I started a practice with another practitioner in a very tiny office downtown in Asheville. Very, very minimal startup costs.
Well, it's good to keep your costs low in the beginning. Yeah. Proof of concept sort of thing. Yeah. What was your total startup cost, if you could put a number on it?
Oh, wow. Initially, it was probably under $10,000.
Traditional Chinese medicine can be traced back through archaeological excavations extending back millions of years. More than 1 million tons of herbs are used each year in China. Tonics account for more than 50% of this figure, with licorice topping the list at 86,000 tons. Tell us everything that you do here and what is the experience if I were to walk in off the street?
Absolutely. So we primarily practice Chinese medicine here. So that includes acupuncture, Chinese herbs, Chinese massage. In the initial session, we sit down and we really take a full health history, get to know what your body's been through, you know, what your life has been like. And we try and get a good snapshot of what your diet looks like, what kind of stresses are you under, things like that. So we really get a
full
whole
consultation,
Yeah.
and to go through to see where are you exactly.
Yeah.
So how is your health now?
Pretty great, actually. Yeah, I don't have any issues with the disease that I used to have.
How much do you credit to what you do?
I will say that Western medicine really helped stabilize my condition while I was doing the work underneath to fix my digestion.
Are you still under any sort of Western medication at this point?
No.
You're sustaining on
I don't take any
herbal,
Yeah.
Chinese herbal.
Yeah, I just drink herbs on a semi-regular basis. Yeah. You know, I want to live to 100, so why not?
I originally started seeing Evan as a patient about 2 years ago. I was really chronically ill for a long time with Crohn's disease. I was basically bedridden for 4 years. I was seeing different acupuncturists and herbalists during that whole time and not taking Western medication and trying to make it work on my own. I knew there had to be a way that I didn't have to give up all of my colon. Was told about Evan by a friend who said, how do you not know that there's a guy who specializes in UC and Crohn's and you really need to go and see him? And so within about my first week and a half of drinking raw herbs, I noticed an appreciable difference in my health. I started joking with him, hey, you need an assistant, you need an assistant. Why don't you take somebody who actually already has studied a lot of this stuff on their own and have them work for you? And sure enough, he offered me the job, and it's been amazing. We really make connections with our patients that are true and honorable and lasting because we've been there and we know what they're suffering through.
I just discovered silverleaf synchronicity.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, oh, you have MS, why don't you try this? And I'm like, all right, sure. And then I did, and I started noticing things changing. And
What was it like before compared to now?
so Evan has worked and worked. He's concocted different herbs now to raise my immunity level, so I'm not so susceptible to infection. And for the first time in a year, I'm not on antibiotics.
Really? So you're a firm believer in this as real treatment for real problems?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no question. To me, it's sensible.
Did you build a website?
Initially I did, and it was very simple, but it had all the pertinent information on there.
At that point, did you have visions of doing e-commerce, selling products online?
A lot of the herbs that I deal with you can only give by prescription. And I believe in really giving herbal formulas in a way that's customized to the person.
You talked about social media. What platforms are you using, and how important really is that to you then and now?
Facebook is really great because I can get on there and share some of the success stories that people have had.
Right.
And people can really, because most people don't know the kinds of things you can treat with Chinese medicine. They think, well, I have elbow pain, I'm going to go get acupuncture. But we actually specialize in treating autoimmune diseases and chronic infections and cancer and things like that. Wow. And so when we share some of these success stories, it really opens people's minds to what the possibilities are.
So people came, they spread the word, word of mouth, Facebook, which is digital word of mouth, essentially, allowed you to grow. Where are we standing now?
I actually found this space before it was advertised, and the only downside is that it was in really bad shape. And so I drew up a budget. I had a pretty good idea of what the costs were going to be. And I approached family and also some friends of the family, actually. So I raised about $50,000.
50? Okay.
25 of that was spent on the renovations, and then the rest of it was for herbs and furniture. And
What is the rent in a place like this?
it's actually $1,600 a month. So yeah, it was more, but the visibility is unparalleled. The number of walk-ins that we get.
Yeah.
Just from people walking back and forth from yoga classes.
You can offset your hard costs with, obviously, with a better location, with a bigger location.
Yeah.
And that's a really good thing to point out to people watching the show, is to offset your hard costs with a subletter, constant stream of revenue to offset your hard costs.
Exactly.
According to StartupBizHub.com, starting an herbal medicine business requires the acquisition of lots of knowledge on the topic. While one does not necessarily need to become a doctor, more than a passing knowledge of the nature of herbal cures is absolutely essential.
Great, so we're just gonna do a few points to just help you relax and get your nervous system nice and calm.
Nothing helps you relax like poking needles in your face.
You feel a little grab there?
Oh yeah.
You feel a little grab there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
I
neat,
felt that in weird places, like
I know.
like a full chill all the way down my body.
Yeah. You feel it? Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Wow, that's strange.
Yeah.
I feel it in my left hand.
Yeah. That's because your body, maps the right and left hands in areas of the brain that are linked, right? So.
Jeez.
This summer, I'm bringing on a partner who's buying into the practice. So we're going to be splitting the costs there, and we're also bringing in another acupuncturist that is going to come work for us. That'll work for a percentage. So we're expanding.
What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs in the same field, not in the same field? What would you say to them?
Yeah, there's nothing that can really prepare you for running a small business other than running a small business. I mean, it's your work is in the laboratory, not in any textbooks. You have to really want to make it work. I mean, it has to be something that you love enough to put all of your energy into and be willing to learn.
There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Evan do it? Let's find out. He started with around $2,000 in the bank and a credit score of 700. His first year sales were around $30,000, operating that first year at a loss. It cost roughly $60,000 to start his business, acquired through a loan from family and friends. And the one word that Evan would use to describe what it takes to make it in business is competency. When starting a business, you shouldn't be on pins and needles, because you have to keep poking around until you find the right prescription for success. And it looks like Evan found the formula to a healthy business. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for Silverleaf.
Crowdfunding, as people know it, is really important to launching new businesses. You're able to get promotion, get market validation, get extra marketing testing, but also you get all the data. So you move from a transaction to a relationship. Obviously, you get the money too. So at Indiegogo, we actually have the most campaigns of anybody and the most data. So we actually have learned a lot. There's 3 things that matter to create a really great campaign. Number 1, have a good pitch. Number 2, be proactive. And number 3, find an audience that cares. Next time on Startup, we head to Minneapolis, Minnesota to talk to Bob, a man of many careers who started Above the Falls, a kayak rental and tour company that takes people up the Mississippi River. Then we head over to Madison, Wisconsin to talk to Henry, Andrew, and Giotto, 3 college buddies who love beer and online technology and started Mobcraft, the world's first crowdsourced brewery. Be sure to join us next time on Startup.
Other option for you. Okay. See, this might be a little bit more your color.
This one fits perfect. Oh, it feels good too.
Like it was made for you.
I feel very free. What? So I know we're on opposite sides of the fence, but why do you always gotta balk about what you do, huh?
American Express is proud to support Startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.